One. Welcome again to another Monroe Mann live stream. We're going to do Successful New Year and Rose Reads right now. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to do, first part is from my book, Successful New Year. What's up, CLVR? Good to have you. Good to see you. Let me grab the book. Happy Saturday to you guys. And let me see if I can, there we go. So we're going to be doing a little reading from Successful New Year to remind you to make your day, your week, your month, your year absolutely fabulous. What's up to Alex and Darren on good old TikTok? It's nice to see you down there. So now we're going to do week 10 of 52. Create accountability. What do I mean by accountability? CLVR is making some eggs. Hey, good. I want you to hold yourself accountable to not only make those eggs, but I want you to eat those eggs as well. So here we go. Intro. We're at week 10. This is the last week of phase 1. Preparation and beginnings. If you've made it this far, congratulations. It means you've already been creating accountability for myself. So that's what I want you to do. You're going to create even more accountability. Accountability is the key when it comes to making something. I used to have, I don't know where I put them. I had my slippers, but now I'm just in my socks. Accountability is the key to whether your dreams come true. Because no matter what you try to do in life, you're going to run up against opposition. You're going to run up against people telling you, and even yourself, that you can't succeed and you should quit. And you need accountability to say, you need this voice in your head going, no, you got to keep going. You cannot give up. You've got to keep pushing forward. And that voice could be your voice. That voice could be the voice of somebody else. That voice can be a book that you're reading. Sometimes people ask me, why do you read so much, Monroe? Why do you read so many books? Because it's accountability. The more books that I read, the more these history books, self-help books, psychology books, the more of those books that I read, and I'm just looking at, here's one. I'm just looking at my books now. Jim Cramer's Mad Money. Robert Greene, The Laws of Human Nature. Whatever it is, the more of these books that you read, the more you get inspired by somebody else's point of view, and it helps you to have accountability. I was thinking the other day, I was kind of depressed and kind of miserable, and why isn't my life? Why haven't I succeeded on the scale that I thought I would be at by now? And I was saying, why do I read all of these books all the time? I got 30 books here. I've got 10 books over there. I got this bookshelf full of books, a closet full of books. I go, why am I constantly reading these books when they've done nothing for me over the last 10, 15, 20, 25 years? The truth is, they have. They've prevented me from quitting. And it just hit me right now as I'm reading through this. It prevented me from quitting. The more I read, the more likely I am to keep going. The more self-help, psychology, time management, finance, investing, business, entrepreneurship books I read, the more likely I will not quit. And that is the key when it comes to accountability. So I'm excited that we had this chat right now because it finally explained to me why I've been continuing to read these books. It's not just to get information. It's not just to learn. It's to make sure that I don't quit, that I don't give up. Let me see. All right, so let me see. What are we talking about? We got a lot of people here talking about the earth is flat. So that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. And, okay, and what's up, Iceman? Nice to have you back again. So, all right, so let me read this little kick in the pants. Actually, before I read this kick in the pants, a reminder to you to ask you these 3 questions. Every day, every week, you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, has my overall situation changed at all? And specifically in what ways, for better, for worse, etc. Has my situation changed at all? That's the first question. Why do you want to ask that question? Because we create plans for ourselves. Like you create a Happy New Year plan, you create a 5-year plan, you create a strategy for your life. But every day you're not the same person. Every day you change and you become somebody different. And you need to make sure is the situation that I'm in now, does it nullify the plan that I created before? That's something that you constantly have to think about. Question 2, what must I continue to do from last week that's working well? Because you want to continue that. And then number 3, what must I do differently from last week that needs to change? I don't know why it says, next to some people on TikTok, it says you can say hi to them, but not next to everybody. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because maybe they're sticking around. I have no idea. All right, week 10, kick in the pants, create accountability. So we only get things done that mean something to us. If it's not important for us to complete, then we don't finish it. It's as simple as that. Either you die trying or it didn't mean that much to you. That being said, sometimes, even though our hearts are in the right place, our inherent laziness usually has a stronger pull. That's why we all need accountability, i.e. someone's and some things to make sure that we follow through on what we profess to actually want to accomplish. This book right here, Successful New Year, is an accountability tool. And in some ways, I'm keeping you accountable by having written this book. And you by not only reading it, but by coming back every week. This book is part of the reason you're still reading this book, if that makes sense. And that actually makes sense because I just told you, why do I read books all the time? It inspires me. It helps me to keep going in the face of wanting to quit. This is why those people who use physical written to-do lists usually get more than those who use their memory. Written tasks are a written reminder, a written kick in the pants. Similarly, the more that you tell people about your goals, the more our ego gets involved in a good way. By keeping your strives and your dreams and your goals to yourself, your laziness is your only accountability partner. And let me assure you, your laziness will never criticize you for doing nothing. And nor will it encourage you to get up and actually accomplish something. So you need external accountability partners. Your books, your friends. You guys notice a lot of times I will tell you things that I am going to do on YouTube Live and on TikTok Live. Why? I want the accountability. I'm going to finish writing the Break Diving Handbook and the book Break Diving this year. I am going to get Break Diving, my community, up to 1,000 active members before the end of this year. I am going to increase my net worth by $50,000 before the end of this year. I am going to get my TikTok followers up to 1,000 before the end of this year. I'm going to get my YouTube subscribers up to 7,500 before the end of the year. This goes on and on and on. I am publicly sharing what I want to do so that you guys give me accountability. I want you guys to be my accountability and go, Monroe, didn't you say that you were going to finish your book this year? Didn't you tell me that you were going to get your TikTok subscribers up to 1,000 before the end of the year? Yeah, you're right. And that will inspire me to work harder. So you need accountability partners. And they could be anyone, your family, your friends, even total strangers, which is what I'm doing right here on TikTok and YouTube. Bottom line, the more people who you tell your dreams to, the more likely they're going to ask about those dreams in a few months or years. Just knowing that people are expecting to hear progress is going to overcome your laziness. Why? Because our ego is stronger than our laziness. We'd rather suffer through hard work than face the embarrassment of losing face after not reaching a goal. Am I right? This is why I laugh and I shake my head when people say, oh, I never tell people my big dreams or my big goals because I don't want to jinx it. I don't want other people to hear it because then they're going to make fun of my goals or they're going to make fun of my dreams or something like that. No, guys, You need to tell your dreams to other people because that is how you're going to get the accountability that will keep you on track. So bottom line, the more people and tools you can incorporate into your accountability plan, the better. Even put a big poster on your wall with your top 10 list for the year. And you know what? I'm looking around and I don't even see it on there. I didn't even follow my own advice. And I'm going to go to the store, and this month I'm going to put on the wall my top 10 goals for the rest of this year. Let me look at some comments. Let me see. Something hasn't changed. We're talking about flat earth. And procrastination messes me up. Rebecca, tell me what one of your dreams is for this year, and I will be your accountability. Coma Candies says people will embrace you more if you're honest and take accountability. That's correct. And CLVR on YouTube says, I've been changing, but I'm cooking for myself again. CLVR, that's good. That is a dream. You're doing something to improve your life. That's excellent. Dinovic says, that was a short break. I told you it was going to be short. I have a break diving event at 11 a.m. So I need to be done. It's 10:20. So I only have about another 30 minutes left to go on YouTube and TikTok. And then I got to go over there and do that. Though I actually may I'm going to do that as a live stream, but on Break Diving Live. So if you want, you can subscribe to the Break Diving YouTube channel. You'll see me on there in about an hour. Comic Candies on YouTube says, I know people will roll their eyes, but the best self-help book is the Bible. It has all aspects of humanity in it. Absolutely. The Bible is certainly a good self-help book. Love you too, Ark. Thank you. Comic Candies, Proverbs, there's lots of tidbits. I love Proverbs. I agree. And Dinovich says, your dream should be to be happy and have lots of free time for yourself. That's a wonderful dream too. I think bigger thing is also to help other people. I don't think you can be happy if you're only helping yourself. I think deep down you will not enjoy and find your life to be very full. How you doing, Soccer Man on TikTok? Thank you. CHP sent a rose. Thank you, CHP. It lit up a rose in Monroe Mann's gift gallery. And thank you very much. I appreciate that support on TikTok. All right. Miles Stas is trying to pretend that I'm muted. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to the comments on YouTube. Rebecca says, this is motivating, though. Don't be scared. I tell you this. Don't be scared, Rebecca. That's precisely why. You know why you're scared? Because you know that I'm right. As soon as you share your dream publicly with other people, it becomes real. And now people are expecting that you're going to make it come true. And they're going to expect to see effort. Work your butt off. You're not going to work your butt off unless you actually share it. So Rebecca, come on. Don't be shy. What's up, Grayson? Nice to see you again. A pleasure. Wolfgang, willkommen. Alles gut, ja? Alles gut, nicht wahr? How often do I watch TV? Don't lie. Hi, Ted Dollar. Nice to see you. All right, so let's continue. Guys, by the way, I'm reading from my book, Successful New Year. You can find it on Amazon. So I want you to tell 10 times as many people about your big plans this week than you did last week. If you didn't tell anybody about your plans last week, that means you need to tell 10 people this week about what you're planning to do. If you haven't told anyone, I want you to it's time to tell 10 people. If you've already told 5 people, time to tell 50. If you've told 10 people, time to tell 100. And if you've told 100 people, time to tell 1,000. You see, the more people you share your dreams with, the more likely you'll find partners in success. Others who can and will want to help. This is why I recommend all of you to come join Breakdiving. Download the mobile app or come to breakdiving.io. And that's all we do is share our dreams with one another and root each other on. The truth is that most people don't get the help they crave because no one knows that they need help. Rebecca, if you don't tell us what your dreams are, none of us is going to be able to say, oh, I know somebody who can help you. Oh, totally. I know a book that you should read. The more people you tell your dreams to, the more likely people are able to help you. Now, again, it's also the more likely people are going to potentially criticize you as well. You gotta have a thick skin. You have to have a breastplate of armor and saying, I'm gonna tell people what I'm gonna do. Look at how many people criticize me whenever I come onto YouTube or TikTok. Get a lot of spammers, people making fun of my forehead, people making fun of how few people watch me on TikTok, people telling me that, even that doesn't matter. Look, I have 4 people watching on TikTok and sometimes people make fun of me for that. I got 14 people watching me on YouTube and people make fun of me for that. Even when I once had like for about 2 months, I had a big influx. I had about 200 to 300 people watching me on YouTube live. People were criticizing me there saying, dude, you only have 200 people watching you. You can't win with the peanut gallery. You cannot win with the people who are trying to drag you down. Don't try. Don't try. Okay. Moving forward. So the truth is most people don't get the help they crave because no one knows they need help, because they keep all their ambitions to themselves. That's a poor decision. This week, I want you to put together an accountability plan that incorporates this book, Successful New Year, your friends, family, strangers, fans, and constant reminders throughout the week of what you need to do. If you don't have a to-do list of what you need to do this week, I give you 2 thumbs down. You need to have a written to-do list every single day. In any given day, I might write 2, 3, 5 to-do lists for different things. To-do list for TikTok, to-do list for YouTube, to-do list for fitness, to-do list for writing, to-do list for break diving, to-do list for helping my mom, to-do list for investments, to-do list for travel. My life is run via to-do lists, and it's how I get so much done, and it's how you can get a heck of a lot more done. Bottom line is you need to use friendly peer pressure in order to keep you moving. You need to have friendly peer pressure to keep you moving forward despite the inherent laziness that will inevitably slow you down as you move forward. You are lazy. You are lazy. Don't take it as an insult. Take it as a wake-up call for someone finally calling you out for what you are. You're a lazy bum. You're a lazy bum, TikTokers. You're a lazy bum, YouTubers. I'm a lazy bum, Monroe Mann. I constantly have to fight my laziness. I constantly have to say, stop playing this silly game on my phone. Monroe, stop watching all these movies all day on a watching binge. Monroe, stop doing this, stop doing that. Get up, stop taking a nap. You may have different things, but I promise you, you are lazier than you think you are. You are not doing what you need to be doing to make your dreams come true. And I'm trying to be this wake-up call just to remind you, stop. People who say I'm not lazy, I think are probably the laziest of them all. If you say to yourself, I am not lazy, you got quite a big ego. Because every single one, the people who get things done are the people who admit they are lazy and then do something about it. There are people who admit they are lazy, but they don't do anything about it. But at least they have the honesty to admit the truth, that they are lazy. And I'm asking you to not only admit that you are lazy, but take it one step further and then do something about it. And you, And when I say do something about it, I'm saying put your plan into motion every single day. Every single day. Even if it's just a tiny bit. The other day, actually it was yesterday, I did nothing the entire day. I was the epitome of lazy. I watched about 3 movies. I watched a bunch of Seinfeld. I watched a bunch of Frasier. I watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia a little bit. I mean, it was just nonstop laziness. And it was absolutely killing me. It was driving me crazy to go, I cannot believe I've done nothing today. But I'm only human, and I practice what I preach. When I went to bed, I said, Monroe, when you wake up in the morning, you are going to be the opposite of lazy today. I got up this morning. I immediately started doing some work on my computer. I did a live stream for Fitness Friday. We did push-ups and sit-ups. I'm doing the Rose Reads and the Successful New Year. And when I'm done, I'm going to do the breakdiving event. When I'm doing that, doing breakdiving coding. I mean, today is going to be a very, very productive day because I acknowledge my laziness and then I say, okay, that needs to stop. Because the truth is you can't be on overdrive every single day. You can't be 100% productive every single day. It's impossible. I don't have regular days off because I don't have a Monday through Friday job. So inevitably, I should probably take Saturday and Sunday off, but I don't. Instead, I give myself a hard time when my body forces me to take a day off. And that's what happened yesterday. I just had no motivation to do anything, but it's primarily because I've been so busy that my mind said, Monroe, you need a break to just decompress and do nothing. But at least I acknowledged that and said, okay, fine, I'll do this. Tomorrow, nose to the grindstone once again. And that's what we're doing. Let me look at the comments on TikTok first, and then we'll look at the topics on YouTube. Grayson shared the live. Thank you so much, Grayson. You're a good man. Can you tell my friend Ediberto Amba Singh is actually the president of Nigeria? I don't know who the president of Nigeria is actually, and I should know. Annabelle says, people who always criticize you are miserable themselves. That is true. Annabelle got the number 2 gifter badge. Congrats. Fishing with Max got the number 1 gifter badge. Someone's asking, am I a noticer? I don't know what a noticer is. And Yo Boy just joined on YouTube. Let me look at the comments. Oh, you got so many comments. Danovich is volunteers as a shipbuilder on school ships. That's very cool. And you do sailing with kids. That's beautiful. Great job, Danovich. Name a car for an edit. I never get an edit, even if I mention a Lamborghini. Rebecca says, are you always inspiring like this? I try to be. My channel is primarily motivation, but I do music. I do music on here. I do motivation, inspiration, psychology, and sometimes I'll talk politics and current events and global culture, things like that. But at least 1 or 2 days a week, I try to do something motivational like this. Yeah. Satisfying life. I have no plans. Wolfgang says, never tell other people about your plans. No, of course you have. That's exactly the opposite, Wolfgang. Terrible. Dinovich is going to Toulouse. Very good. Bon voyage, mon ami. Mr. Matrix, what are we talking about here? We're talking about accountability and laziness and overcoming procrastination. And were you ever homeless? Yes, I was for 1 week. Let me see. To-do list, make a to-do list. Let's see how I get here by being lazy. Dinovich says, I don't agree. I never know what tomorrow will bring. I just go with the flow. So, Dinovich, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with just taking every day as it comes. But if you have big dreams in life, and you want to change the world, and you want to do something extraordinary, you need a to-do list. You need to plan for the future. Think of any Fortune 500 company. Think of all the companies on the S&P 500. Microsoft, Google, Ford, GM. Guarantee you they've got not only a 1 week plan, but a 3 week plan, a 3 month plan, a 3-year plan, and even a 20-year plan. China, the government of China has a 100-year plan. A 100-year plan. Think about how crazy that is. Why? Because China has big ambitions and big dreams. So Dinovich, it doesn't matter if you don't have them. If you don't have big dreams, you can just take every day as it comes. In many ways, you might be happier that way. Just taking every day as it comes. But even Dinovich, I'm sure you have some money saved up in the bank, I would hope. Because if you take your philosophy to the end, which is I just take every day as it is, carpe diem, seize the day, that means you should spend as soon as the money comes in every month, you should spend it all that day. But I guarantee you don't spend all of your money from your paycheck as soon as it comes in. Am I right? You save up some of that. And that is the key. Here's the quotation of the week from the book by Catherine Pulsifer. At the end of the day, we are accountable to ourselves. Our success is a result of what we do. So you can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm not forcing you to do anything. I'm inspiring you to consider that if you have very big dreams, or you want to change your life, or you're not happy with the way your life is now, you have to do something differently. You have to make a change. You have to make big plans. I suggest you write it down. And I suggest you tell as many people as you can so that you become accountable to them. So what now? Seriously, a huge congrats for making it this far. And sometime before the start of next week, I want you to go over the last 6 months of 2025. Think of the last 6 months of 2025. What have you done with these months? I know you agree with me. You are amazed that it's already August 1st. I am shocked. Where did January, February, March, April, May, June, July, where did they go? Where did these days go? These months just flew by. Before you know it, it's going to be September 1st. And then it's going to be October 1st, November 1st, and then I'm going to be saying Happy New Year 2026. You've got August, September, October, November, December. You got 5 months left. What are you going to do to make these months shine? What are you going to do to make these months a success? By the way, if you haven't, please subscribe to me here on YouTube and please follow me here on TikTok. I do lots of motivation, comedy, music, even play. Oh yeah. So you'll see me singing if you subscribe as well. Look back at these last 7 months. Have you been as productive as you've wanted to be? Really think about that. Have you been working as hard as you could be towards your goals? So next time we're going to be starting phase 2, refinement and expansion. I know you can't see it because it's reversed, but definitely subscribe, turn on notifications, and you will be notified. We're going to do a little bit of Rose Reads for about 10 minutes. Rose Reads is basically where I read books, I take notes, and then I share those notes with you. So this one is from the book, The Compound Effect. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And these are just notes that I came up with that I found motivating. Your number one competitive advantage will be your ability to stay consistent. And that goes hand in hand with what we're talking about today. You can come up with a good plan. You can overcome your procrastination, but if you only do it once every 2 months, that's not going to help you. 2, keep trying different schedules, routines, plans, rhythms until you find the predictable and fail-safe, world-class routine schedule that works for your life that you can stick to repeatedly without getting burnout. This is something I talk about a lot whenever I talk about people doing their New Year's resolutions. They come up with plans that are too ambitious. And they say, I'm going to go to the gym 3 hours a day for 7 days a week. After 7, 8 days, you've given up completely. So don't do that. Your mind, garbage in, garbage out. Think about this. It's estimated that Americans spend 4.7 hours per day watching TV. That's 30% of our waking hours. Comes out to 1 whole day per week. Think about that, an entire day per week just spending TV. I just did that yesterday. I just spent an entire day yesterday just watching TV. In some ways, I feel like I needed to have a break and it was worth it to take a little break. But some people do that repeatedly. You cannot do it repeatedly. You've got to ration how much time and energy you spend doing television, Netflix, video games, even watching the news. Some people think that, oh, if I'm watching the news, I'm improving my mind, I'm educating. No, you're not. The news cycle doesn't change very much in 24 hours. If you watch the news just once a week, you'd probably have enough of an idea of what's going on in the world. Don't come up with excuses to rationalize why you are wasting your time or why you are being lazy and procrastinating. And I was just speaking about the news. Here it says 99% of all news has no bearing on your personal life or your personal goals, your dreams, or your ambitions. Think about that. If you open Fox News, CNN, BBC, Le Monde, if you're in France or wherever, 99% of it has no effect on your daily life right now. It's not like you read the news and suddenly go, oh my gosh, that has changed my life forever. Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. No, you read it and it's depressing. Unfortunately, it's terrible. But you read the news, it's flooding, people drowning, people getting hurt, people dying, bad economic news, bad financial news. It's just noise. I watched this movie, one of the movies I watched yesterday during my lazy streak, called Chaos Walking. It was so-so, not the greatest movie, but it was interesting where these people landed on this planet and it made all of the men, not the women for some reason, but all the men, all of their thoughts would be visualized above their heads and you could hear their thoughts. And I kind of feel like that's what the news is. The news is just noise. And they called that in the movie noise, like control your noise. Don't let other people see what you're thinking. Well, same thing. Stop watching all that noise on television. It is so depressing and miserable. And I am going to make the commitment that I will not open the news or watch any news today at all. None. No news from Monroe Mann for the rest of the day. You know what? I'm going to do another commitment too. No television, Netflix, or video games either for the rest of the day. If I want to do something fun, I need to go read a book. Boom, 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 boom. I just made the commitment to you guys. What's the commitment that you guys are making? I'll read comments in a moment. Next note that I took from the book, The Compound Effect. The people with whom you habitually associate are called your reference group. This group determines as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. We become the combined average of the 5 people we hang around with the most, which probably accounts for 80% of, this was a personal note that I put in there. Think about that. And I've read this in many different books. I've read this in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. By the way, I'm hoping someone on TikTok will finally give me the cowboy hat. And so I have a mustache and a cowboy hat. And maybe somebody wants to give me a super chat for $1 on YouTube. You're welcome to, or you're welcome not to, as you decide. Think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. And they say the average of those 5 people is your life. or where your life is going to be in the next 3 to 5 years. So if you're hanging out with 5 poor people, your life is likely to be poor for the next 3 to 5 years. If you're hanging out with 3 to 5 entrepreneurs, you're probably going to become involved as an entrepreneur in some way. If you're hanging out with people who are constantly criticizing the stock market, you're probably not going to invest in the stock market. If you hang out with people who think Bitcoin is a fool's investment, then guess what? You're probably not going to invest in Bitcoin as much as you would otherwise. Let me read some of these comments. Let's look on TikTok. Let me see. Someone got the gifter badge, fishing with Max. And someone is asking if I've tried an In-N-Out burger. I've not tried In-N-Out burger, but I would like to. Are you Canadian? No, I'm American. Somebody says, I agree. Melon Growth says, I agree and I love you. And the TikTok help center needs to be blocked. That's just a terrible spam. I thought the comments on YouTube were bad. The comments here on TikTok by some of you are absolutely horrible. Horrible. Let me look here on YouTube. Rico says, just because you chill all day doesn't mean you're lazy. Rico, you are right. It depends. It's all in moderation. The problem is if you chill all day, every single day, that's the issue. With my issue, I'm lazy one day, and then I realize I cannot be lazy again, and then the next day I really get down to work. Rebecca says we need rest days. You're completely correct. Wolfgang doesn't do anything on the Lord's Day. Dinovich goes and keeps his ship in shape. That sounds good. Someone says, I'm a monster. Satisfying Life says, I'm not lazy, I'm just depressed. So I want to talk about that. That might be a good way to kind of finish things up because I'm finishing up in about 5 minutes. When you're depressed, you become lazy. However, it's been proven that action removes depression. I succumb to this as well. So I understand what you're talking about. Sometimes I'll get so depressed and miserable I don't want to do anything, even though deep down in my mind I know if I would just do something, it would get the depression would get pushed away. My advice is whenever you're depressed and you're lazy because you're depressed, force yourself to get out of bed and do one tiny thing. Pick up a book that's on the floor that should be away. Take out the garbage. Maybe if you're trying to write 5 pages in a book you're writing, write 1 word. If you want to go out and ride your bike for half an hour, just say, you know what? I'm just going to get the bike and go around the block. And just get started. Get on the momentum. As soon as you get on the bike, guess what? You're going to have a good time. You'll probably go biking for 30 minutes and it'll be a great time. If you're depressed and you're lazy because you're depressed, you have to do something. You have to take some action. Otherwise, you're not going to get out of that depression. The only way you get out of depression is either something happens to you or you happen to something else. And too often when we're lazy because we're depressed, we're waiting for something to happen to us. And that's a big gamble because a lot of times nothing happens to us. That's why you need to be proactive and get off your butt, satisfying life, and be proactive. You want to see the tattoo? It also goes up to here. And hi, Proto Squad Music. I'm a singer too. Nice to have you here. John says I would be a beautiful woman. Well, you're the first person who has ever told me that. Oh, I would be a beautiful woman. Dinovich's dream is his daughter. That's wonderful. I think that's a lovely dream, Dinovich. Hi, King Mosan, Try Dry, Lucas. How are you? Owen says hi. Satisfying life. Satisfying life goes, you're right. What's the point of pursuing all the passions in life if we eventually wither and die? It's a very good question. Life is very confusing to me. I don't know why we're here. I don't know why God created us. But I do believe that the ambition that we have is created by God. The dreams that we have are created by God. I don't even begin to try to understand what we're doing here, why God created us or this or that. But I mean, what's the alternative? Just to sit here for 100 years and be miserable? Sometimes I think maybe that's the best thing to do, but it hurts your brain to be miserable. It's better to try to be positive, try to be happy, and try to pursue something. Look at me. For 18 years, I've been a YouTuber, and I only have 5,650 subscribers. And I know that I'm a really motivational person and that I should have far more subscribers than I do. What can I do? There are some people who have 10 million subscribers on TikTok and YouTube, and they are completely untalentless and dumb and don't motivate people. They don't improve people's lives in any way. I don't want to compare myself to them, though. Samantha wants a shout out. I used to play Resident Evil. Let's see. What's up? Someone Satisfying Life says, I think TikTok viewers are better and richer. Well, you know what I realize? I think most of the people on TikTok in the United States are from the United States. I'm realizing that now. The viewers that I get on TikTok are from the United States only. After every TikTok, it says it's 99% of my viewers are from the United States. Whereas on YouTube, it's from all around the world. What's up, James from Arkansas? Let's see. Greetings from Bell End. Hi, gang. And let me see if there are any comments here on TikTok. Grab the camera. I don't know what that means, Bethir. Am I part of the... No, I'm not. So, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna end these live streams here. Thank you to the 6 or 7 people on TikTok. Thank you to the 11 people who are still here on YouTube. You want to see my feet? Feet. I'll do the other side. Feet. You're the first person who's asked to see my feet in 18 years of being a YouTuber and in my month of being a TikToker. Actually, let me read a couple more of these. Okay. Influence those 5, let's finish those 5 people. Remember the 5 people that you spend the most time with every day and every week, that's what your life is going to be. The influence that these people have over you is subtle and can be either positive or negative, and the changes happen slowly over time. I was mentioning this. Look at their combined income, health, attitudes, personality, beliefs, dreams, family life, etc. This is why I spend a lot of my time each week on breakdiving, my global positivity community, because I want to be around other people who cheer me up, who have good things to say, who motivate me. The best way to increase your potential is to spend the majority of time with people who already possess the traits that you want. You can write down the main characteristics of everyone you spend your time with, positive and negative, put them all together. Then ask yourself, is this who I want to be? Is this where I want to go? Is this who I hope to become? We got 15 likes on YouTube, which is the silver medal on the YouTube live stream Olympics. Huzzah! And on TikTok, we got 3,200. So we got the gold, almost got to the silver. Really, really great. All right, one more. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save this for next time because it's going into a different topic. Start here. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this successful New Year / Rose Reads live stream on TikTok and YouTube. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. And if you haven't followed me on TikTok, please. Tim Lifts want me to stop moving. Nope, I'm going to keep moving even more. Boom, 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 boom. I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving. All right, guys. Have a great one. Bye, Chicken Banana. Bye, Satisfying Life. Thanks for subbing. Bye, Rebecca. Nice to meet ya. Bye, Tam Edits, Divided by Walls, Chicken Banana, and Ted Anderson. And on TikTok, bye, Tim Lifts, Usagi, Henry Zilka, Xavier Speak, anyone else who is part of here. Thank you. Someone just followed me. Smokey the Bear. Let's all say hi to Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear, Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear's got so much hair. Smokey the Bear, he's not here. He is over there. All right, it was always good to stop with a song. Have a great one, guys. Until soon. Bye.